This review is on the Altec Lansing 800 boombox. As you can see here, right now I've got a iPhone in here. I'm going to give you some pointers on how the speaker works. A couple things to note: it's not going to be an all-inclusive review because this thing has a lot of features to it, so it'll be very difficult to be able to cover everything. But what I'm going to do is show you how it works with the iPod Classic, an iPhone, an iPod Touch, and even some auxiliary functions. So let's give it a try. Okay, the first question when it comes to mind for any kind of speaker is, how does it sound? Well, I'm going to compare this speaker and how I think it sounds to an Altec, a different Altec, and that would be the 612 here, and give you a kind of a feel for the advantages to the 800 versus the speaker here. And the reason why I say advantages is because it's considerably more expensive. If you're spending that kind of money on a speaker, you want it to sound good. So let's listen to the 800 and see how it sounds. Sorry for the 1990s flashback to music for ES Jock Jams, but the truth is this speaker sounds absolutely excellent. It's got pretty good lows. It doesn't have a subwoofer to it, so it's not quite as low as you would maybe expect with something that had a subwoofer output, but it's good, crisp sound. The low range probably hitting, I'm going to say 55, 60 hertz. I haven't actually measured on any kind of frequency scale, but it does a good job on the low range. Much better than the T612. I'm very impressed. For the price point, it is a bit expensive, but this is something that you can blast outside and good good sound out of it. So I'd give it 5 stars for sound. Well, you plug your speaker or your iPod into that port right there. Some units or some iPods will need a insert. The Altec Lansing here comes with 4 separate inserts depending on which model of iPod you have. So you drop your iPod in right here. So put your iPod in, and then you push down the bar to keep it from falling out. Kind of a neat feature. One of the things that, speaking of the features of it, aesthetically, this isn't the most attractive thing you're going to find. Probably not that big of a deal. It's easy to carry, but it's not something that's going to necessarily impress everybody on the block. The finish on it is just, I would say, okay. But again, that's pretty minor for how good this thing really sounds. You're listening to your music and suddenly you get a phone call. What happens if you're listening to your iPod Touch? So what I'm doing here is the music pauses when your iPod's plugged in, and you actually tells you that you're getting a phone call. So this way, if you have your stereo outside and you get a phone call, well, the music pauses and you know that you've got a call. So that's kind of a nice feature to it, that it will pause on an iPod when you get a phone call. It's a very nice feature, in fact. Here you have the Altec Lansing 800 remote control. Now you'll notice, first of all, it's not anything overly fancy, but it does the job. One of the things on it is that it's got a bit of a carabiner right here. So if you need to, you can clip it to yourself, or clip it to your belt buckle and not worry about losing it if you're outside. Right here you have 4 presets. One thing that's interesting and kind of nice, I guess, is that the Altec Lansing 800 also has a built-in FM radio. So these 4 presets are for your radio stations. Source, so you can toggle between the different inputs, whether it's the FM radio, your iPod Classic, or your iPhone, or whatever. You can toggle between that, and then your EQ. So it'd be nice if it had a display on it telling you what you're playing, but to be honest, that would probably needlessly add to the cost. One thing to remember is that not only is this a speaker, but it's also a charger. So this is how you can charge your iPod or iPhone, or every night you just stick it on the base in the cradle, and it'll be charged probably within an hour or so. So it's another nice thing that the Altec Lansing 800 will do for you. Mobility, how easy is this thing to move? Once you get several handles on here, it's got a bit of a power brick on it, so the power cord's a little bit bulky. The unit weighs probably about 10-12 pounds, so it's not heavy. It's pretty easy to move. It does not have rechargeable batteries in it, which would be kind of nice, but it will take D batteries. So therefore, you can load it up with batteries and then take it on your way, so you don't have to be confined to wherever you have a power plug. So that's pretty nice. Between the 800 to work with the iPod and the iPhone, iPod Touch and the iPhone. Here you'll see with the video iPhone, the video iPod, also working with no problems. So again, it's fully functioning across a lot of your different platforms. Next, we're going to show you the auxiliary inputs that it has, so it'll even work with your shuffle. This is the old school iPod Shuffle, but what it shows is that using this wire that comes with the Altec Lansing 800, actually comes with two of them. You can plug your iPod Shuffle into the speaker and get it to work. Now, it's not going to charge it, but you can play from your iPod Shuffle and select it. So, pretty nice feature. So what you have here is you have two auxiliary jacks. So this can work for a CD player, they can work for your iPod Shuffle, they can work for a squeeze box, they can work for anything that has a regular headphone jack output, can be connected to the speaker and play. And it's actually fantastic that it has two of them. So really, you've got a lot of options on your music source. So really, anything that you have that will play, either from a headphone jack or from your traditional iPod jack, you have a speaker that'll work. So that's a great feature. Okay, next you've got an FM stereo. Right here it is. It's on a local Christian station, actually. So you're getting a lot of variety here from me today for as far as music selection. But anyhow, it'll actually tell you it'll pick up and tell you any kind of information that the radio station's displaying. So it's actually a pretty good FM radio too. So you get you got a 7-band graphic equalizer, which I've not shown you, but it's got pretty good features all the way around for it. So while it is a little expensive, you're getting a lot for what you're paying for it. Compared to the T612, which is right here, which really only has one type of input. It does have a jack, I guess, in the back of it, but it's a much better sound, and doesn't have an FM radio, doesn't have a digital display. So the 800 is a much better option for me. Final verdict on the Altec Lansing 800 inMotion. 5 stars. It's really kind of hard to find anything that I don't like about it. It's not the most attractive thing in the world. My wife's already commented on that, about where we're going to put it, but in terms of sound, performance, functionality, and features, it would be difficult to find something else. I mean, maybe if it had digital radio to it, or if it had the ability to work wirelessly, that might be a nice feature to add to it, but that's just going to add to the price. Same thing with remote control. If it had a digital display to show you what you're playing, that would be another nice feature, but again, you're adding cost, and I don't know if it's really worthwhile. So for this price point, it really is impressive. So 5 stars, I think you can buy with confidence. Good luck.